Well, back at it again. We're going to be working on the Jeep Grand Cherokee Supercharger build today, and hopefully by the end of this video, I'll be able to drive it, go down the road, and see what it's going to do. I think I have a boost gauge lying around somewhere. I really want to know, and I've had other people ask how much boost it's going to make because I have no idea. The pulley ratio is going to be so much different than what it came off of, because the Super Coupe had one crank pulley, and then it had a belt that went over to a jack shaft, which had two different size pulleys on it to speed it up even faster, and then it went to the blower. So I can calculate what RPM this thing's spinning at and kind of figure it out, but I won't know. We'll just see what it makes. It's gonna make what it makes, but we'll get after it. Here's the cheap Amazon blow-off kit. China. I used one of these on my turbo Nissan hardbody, and it worked just fine for that. I'm hoping it works for this. I don't see why it wouldn't. If there's another spring in here to play with it, I might. On the hardbody, as long as it was idling and off vacuum, this was open. So I'm sure this is going to pull plenty of vacuum as long as the spring's the same in this one. It'll be open the whole time, and just let that. It's just going to be sitting right about here on the crossover tube, and all the extra air is just going out this thing. Which there's no mass air, these are speed density, so it doesn't matter. It's not going to hurt anything. And my thought on getting crap in here, especially being in the woods, is that at no point should this ever pull any air in, because the blower's always moving air, it's always blowing out. So I'm sure that's not a bulletproof idea, but it should always be pushing air out of it, so it should be hard for anything to get into it. At least that's a theory I'm going with. For right now, I'm going to cut this the factory connector off and solder this up properly. I'm not going to mount the map sensor properly yet, because I think I want the newer style manifold, and whenever I get it, I'll weld the block on or drill and tap it to bolt this to it like I did my Dakota. So I'm going to get to soldering this. I rigged it up so I can test it, because at first I hooked the red wire up to the white wire, because I was like, alright, well, black and blue, that's fairly color-coded. Kind of, not really at all, but that's what happened. So this is how it needs to be wired. I put out a short video on how to wire this up. Now, I'm sure there's plenty of different year model Jeeps, and this is probably different. Mine's a 96, and this has come off a PT Cruiser from the pull-apart, and I'm sure they've got different wire colors too throughout the years. But if you have a 96, and you happen to have the same wire colors for your 2-bar map sensor or your 2 1/4 map sensor, shoot, I don't even think this wasn't even a turbo vehicle I got this plug off of. It doesn't have to be. It's the same plug, whether it's a 1-bar or 2 1/4 bar SRT4 map sensor. Finally arrived. 7:30. Finally got here. Come on. This big old box. For 1, 2. I couldn't hold my phone and open that. I thought about it earlier. I was like, well, I don't have any clamps, so I'm glad it came with some, because I forgot all about it. Gonna have to cut that down just a bit. While I was waiting, I've been messing around cleaning this thing up. I still got some more of this casting. Still have more of this to grind out of there, and I got to clean this up. But all in all, I'm fairly happy with it. It looks decent. It'll work. I'll mock that back up on there, and then I'm going to measure that or set it up there and mark it to cut it. And hopefully I can do it in just one piece. The leg's not long enough, but I've got another piece over there in the corner. Actually, it might be just long enough. That might just work. Alright, we'll try that. Alright, we'll try this again. That's better. That's a lot closer. I just gotta find my Sharpie. Put a couple marks on there. Pop this thing off and weld it up. Here it is, all welded up. I can do all right at welding aluminum. I'm not great at it yet. But I'm gonna go cool this off and rinse it out and stick it on there. There it is. Now I just gotta get this thing on there somehow. I don't think I need to get real fancy with it. I think I'll just put it right here. Straight forward, it's under that. Gotta do a little clearance to make it match this profile. Yeah, I don't see why that wouldn't work. Right there. Right here before it. Something I just noticed that might make this easy is I mean, that's definitely probably a 3-inch roll versus 2.5. But I think just this riding on the end here will get it a lot closer. We'll get it much closer than that. So I'm gonna run this on there and see what it looks like. That worked pretty decent. It's considerably closer. If I go too far, this gap starts getting bigger. So there's a small gap in a lot of places, but it's much less than before. Now, I've got this marked. I really want this just straight up, straight out of there. Now, what I plan to do is weld it, and then I'll hole saw right through the middle of it. So, set up, and I got to get all this cleaned off. I'd used the eBay intercooler pipe before. That's black or anodized. Don't get that stuff. It really sucks. Even if it's the cheap eBay stuff that's kind of natural, it's still coated. You got to get that crap off of there. This is just polished, so all I did was barely touch it with some Scotch-Brite and some acetone, and it was ready to weld, and nice and easy. Like, not a lot of crap in it. It was awesome. Versus this piece that was black. I'll show you what it looked like. It comes like this. It's not paint, it's like some anodizing or something, but it's a pain in the butt to get off of there, to get out of the pores. And it welds pretty nasty if you don't get it all out of there. So if you can, get this much nicer, much better. The eBay kits are cheap, and if you're going to get it, get the silver. Don't get this crap. It's ready. Those are alright. All sawed. Crap cleaned out of it. I'm not putting a lip on this yet. I could weld beads around here and use some of those pliers. I've seen people use crimpers cut off to do that. I'm going to hold out. If it keeps blowing off, I'll weld onto it. But I kind of want to hold out to get a bead roller. I mean, this isn't perfection, but got the tube at 7:30. Started working on it about 7:40, and it's 8:50 right now. So a little over an hour later, and we're ready for boost. So it's going on. There it is. Tube's on. Blow-off valve's on. I still don't have an intake, but I'll figure that out next. There's still other things I have to do to make it really drivable, like PCB stuff and other vent lines and vacuum stuff that's not supposed to see boost. There's not really a whole lot. I think PCB's it. But I just want to fire it up, see if it's going to work. I mean, I know it's going to work. Here we go. Woo! Hell yeah! Perhaps small garage burnout? Or not. Well, that's it for this video. I'm excited. There's still a lot of tuning to do. I'm driving around and I really need a wideband, and I haven't gotten the scanner function of the HP tuners to work. It'll turn on, or it'll connect until you start it, and once you start it, it drops out. So data logging is going to be a real pain in the butt. I'm going to try to use my friend's computer. It's a little older, maybe a little more friendly. The scanner worked on my 99 Dakota, but this GATEC Plus, a little newer. So, well, but if you hung around this long, thank you for watching, and please like and subscribe.